Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs on a 5-nation visit of the Global South on Wednesday. This is the longest foreign visit by Prime Minister Modi in over a decade. No link between COVID-19 vaccines and sudden adult deaths. Extensive studies by ICMR and AIIMS conclusively identify lifestyle and pre-existing conditions as key factors. US Senate narrowly passes Trump's ambitious One Big Beautiful Bill Act after J.D. Vance's tie-breaking vote. Trump praises it as transformative win. Republicans remain divided on key provisions. Australian airline Qantas investigates a significant cyber attack. Hackers infiltrate system containing sensitive personal data on 6 million customers. Quantis says no impact on safety or operations. Tibetan leader Dalai Lama announces his succession plan, says the Garden Fordrang Trust has sole authority to recognize the future reincarnation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarked on a crucial 8-day 5-nation visit from today, which will be the longest foreign visit by him in over a decade. The extensive diplomatic outreach will see him travel to Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, Argentina, Brazil and Namibia. These are all the members of the Global South. Therefore, the visits will have a strong focus on strengthening India's partnership in the Global South. The first stop would be Ghana, which will be the first such visit by an Indian Prime Minister to the West African country in 3 decades. DD India's correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya gives us details from Accra.
India and Ghana share warm, time-tested ties built on common democratic values and a shared vision for development. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Ghana from July 2nd to 3rd is not just symbolic, it's a strategic move to reinforce South-South cooperation. This is the first high-level visit by an Indian Prime Minister in 30 years, signaling a renewed focus on Africa.
There will be delegation-level talks, during which the bilateral relations will be reviewed and also discuss various ways to strengthen and deepen bilateral relations. Honorable Prime Minister will have a one-on-one meeting with his counterpart. Then there will be a banquet dinner in honor of Honorable Prime Minister. The next day, Prime Minister will be addressing the Parliament, and he also will be interacting with the Indian community there, which is about 15,000 in number.
Trade and investment and development cooperation are the key pillars of India-Ghana relations. Leaders from both nations are expected to explore new areas for collaboration with a strong focus on economic growth and inclusive partnership. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also address Ghana's parliament in this trip.
During the visit, there will be few focus items. Will be agriculture, where the Ghanaian leader, the president, is keen to engage with India. He is also keen on the vaccine development, creating a vaccine hub in Ghana, for not just Ghana, but also the West Africa context. Defense cooperation will become an important item on the agenda, and the critical minerals and the digital public infrastructure.
Prime Minister Modi's visit aims to elevate bilateral cooperation across strategic sectors and reaffirm India's commitment to the Global South. The visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi aims to deepen ties across key sectors including economy, energy, defense and development cooperation, marking a significant diplomatic push in Ghana and a common vision for both India and Ghana for the Global South. With camera person Rakesh, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Accra, Ghana.
The Indian diaspora continues to play a vital role in strengthening ties between India and Ghana. In a heartening example, Rajendra Mishra, Director, Alma Medical Laboratory is a dedicated member of the Indian community in Ghana. He has taken it upon himself to provide medical assistance to local communities, reflecting the spirit of service that defines the Indian global outreach. Mishra says the people of Ghana are excited to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi and are optimistic about deeper collaboration with India in healthcare and beyond. We get you this ground report from Accra.
Joining me is Rajendra Mishra, Indian diaspora member who's been working here in Ghana for long, and especially when it comes to medical infrastructure. Sir, tell us how you guys are helping. India is helping Ghana in this field.
See, India, we are Indian. We have our diagnostic center here. We are helping Ghanaians a lot, and Ghanaians are also, they are very cool. They are helping us a lot, but they need a lot of infrastructure. They need a lot of medical help in their remote area. In the city, we have some good hospitals, but in the remote area, we don't have any good hospital. So, Indian government can help them a lot to do health facility better in the remote area. There are hospitals in the remote area, in the building, and all the technology.
Are they looking forward to Prime Minister's visit? I mean, I know a lot of people are actually talking about Prime Minister Modi. They believe that he can do a lot for Ghana.
Definitely, Ghanaians are very excited. Even we heard this news from Ghanaians. Our Prime Minister is coming. They are very excited. They are waiting a lot of things that Prime Minister will announce in the infrastructure, in there something like, let's see, technology, food technology, a lot of things, agriculture. Agriculture is very back here. So they can also help in the agriculture. See, in India, advance in the medical agriculture. So they are expecting a lot of things from Indian Prime Minister to announce, and they can do the tie-up, and they could do a lot of things.
You are a member of Indian diaspora. How excited you are and your community to welcome Prime Minister Modi?
See, here, like as a member, we always available for our community. Anytime, if we have any call that this person have problem, we send our team. Sometimes we go ourselves to help them to hospitalize in medication. And we have some team of the doctors. Doctors go there to help them, to all our Indian community and some Ghanaians also.
That's the Indian diaspora, helping the people in Ghana, and making sure that India's name is called by many. They've been appreciated here, and that's the best part of Indian diaspora. Wherever they go, they make the place their own. And with Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming here, it's a huge opportunity for them to once again put forth their community here, and at the same time looking forward to welcoming Prime Minister Modi in Accra, Ghana. With Prasar Bharati, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for GD India from Accra, Ghana.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a very productive meeting of Quad foreign ministers in Washington, D.C. The leaders discussed how to make Quad more focused and impactful on contemporary opportunities and challenges. Dr. S. Jaishankar said that today's gathering will strengthen strategic stability in the Indo-Pacific and keep it free and open. Quad foreign ministers condemned unequivocally all the acts of terrorism and violent extremism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. In a joint statement issued by the US, India, Australia and Japan, the leaders renewed their commitment to counter-terrorism cooperation. The leaders condemned in the strongest terms the Pahalgam terrorist attack, calling for the perpetrators, organizers and financiers of this reprehensible act to be brought to justice without any delay. The leaders also urged all UN member states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant UNSCRs, to cooperate actively with all relevant authorities in this regard. The ministers also announced key initiatives to strengthen maritime and transnational security, economic prosperity and security, critical and emerging technology, and support humanitarian assistance in emergency response across the region. They also announced the launch of the Quad Critical Minerals Initiative, an ambitious expansion of our partnership to strengthen economic security and collective resilience by collaborating on securing and diversifying critical mineral supply chains. The new flagship initiative, alongside the high-impact programs and outcomes the Quad is realizing, will enable the four countries to bring economic opportunity and prosperity to people and the region. DD India Saurabh Shukla elaborates on the details of Quad Foreign Ministers meeting and its outcome.
I would say that Dr. Jaishankar's visit came at a very critical time when not only Quad was looking for a more focused agenda, also from India's standpoint, India's concerns on Pakistan-sponsored terrorism was something which the global leaders had to, be appraised about, especially the Quad foreign ministers. And I must say that behind the scenes, a lot of deft diplomacy happened ahead of this meeting. Also during this meeting, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar made it very clear that the perpetrators of terrorism have to be named, and even their finances and backers have to be named. And that's the reason why what you saw, the very strong joint statement that came out clearly mentioned that Quad not only condemned Pahalgam attacks, but it also went beyond it. So what India's concerns were, I would say, were articulated very well, and the end result was very good.
Moving on, no link has been found between the COVID-19 vaccines and the surge of sudden deaths due to heart attacks among adults. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said on Wednesday that studies by the Indian Council of Medical Research and National Centre for Disease Control affirm that COVID-19 vaccines in India are safe and effective, with extremely rare instances of serious side effects. Now, these studies have conclusively established that sudden cardiac deaths can result from a wide range of factors, including genetics, lifestyle, pre-existing conditions, and post-COVID complications. To explore this, two complementary studies were undertaken using different research approaches, one based on past data and another involving real-time investigation. The Government of India thus remains committed to evidence-based public health research to protect the well-being of its citizens. The first batch of Kalash Manserov Yatra 2025 pilgrims successfully returned to Gangtok after completing their sacred pilgrimage to Mount Kailash and Mansarovar. The pilgrims expressed their gratitude and happiness, feeling blessed for completing the yatra under the care of liaison officer and the organizing teams. They thanked the government for providing them with a comfortable stay, warm hospitality and nutritious sattvic meals. All yatris were presented with yatra completion certificates by the ACS Tourism Department. The first batch of the yatris will be returning to their respective states today, carrying cherished memories of their sacred pilgrimage and the warmth of Sikkim's hospitality. Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha flagged off the first batch of pilgrims for the Sri Amarnath Yatra today. Before the flag off, Lieutenant Governor offered prayers at Yatri Niwas base camp in Jammu. The Amarnath Yatra is being conducted through the Baltal and Pahalgam routes. The Jammu-Srinagar highway is a key route for the thousands of pilgrims heading to the shrine. The prayers will be offered from 3rd of July, that is tomorrow, while the 40-day-long Sri Amarnath Yatra will culminate on August 9th. The Yatra seeks lakhs of devotees trek through the Himalayan terrain to pay obeisance at the Holy Cave Shrine in Anantnag district of South Kashmir. You're watching DD India Live. We are headed for a short break. But after the break, ahead in the bulletin, we get you a quick roundup of the changes in weather patterns in India and abroad. US President Trump announces Israel agrees on terms for a 60-day ceasefire deal in Gaza, warns Hamas to accept before conditions worsen. India heads into the second test against England at Edgbaston, eyes maiden test win.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live. The US Senate on Tuesday narrowly passed the Trump administration's tax and spending bill, dubbed as One Big Beautiful Bill. The Republican-controlled Senate passed the bill by 51 to 50 after a marathon voting process that started on Monday morning. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance broke a 50-50 tie by casting a vote. Senators spent the past few days reading out and debating the 940-page bill, which was unveiled late on Friday. The legislation includes more spending on border security, defense and energy production, with cuts to healthcare and electric vehicle subsidies. The bill extends Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is set to expire at the end of 2025. The mega bill would add about $3.3 trillion of deficit in the next decade, higher than $2.8 trillion of deficit in the version passed by House of Representatives on May 22nd. Moreover, the House of Representatives needs to approve the revision to its version of the bill, which was passed on May 22nd. Earlier, Trump urged lawmakers to pass the bill before July 4th. According to U.S. media reports, the House of Representatives will vote on the bill on Wednesday. In Australia's biggest breach in years, its airline Qantas witnessed a major cyber attack that exposed personal data of up to 6 million customers. Hackers accessed a third-party system containing names, emails, phone numbers and birthdays, but no credit card or passport information. The airline says flight operations were not affected and has reported the breach to Australia's cyber security coordinator. Last week, the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation said that cybercrime group Scattered Spider was targeting the airlines, with Hawaiian Airlines and Canada's WestJet already reporting breaches. Quantis has so far did not name any group. Its share price was down by 3.3% by mid-session trade against a flat overall market. U.S. President Donald Trump urged Hamas on Tuesday to accept a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, saying that Israel had agreed to finalize such a deal as the U.S. forces also stepped up operations in Gaza. Trump, in a post on social media, said that his representatives had met with Israeli officials about the raging conflict ahead of Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit to Washington scheduled for next week, in which Trump said that he would be very firm. Trump said on Tuesday that he believed Netanyahu wanted to end hostilities in Gaza. Trump also said that representatives of Qatar and Egypt, mediators in the conflict, would deliver this final proposal. In March, a previous ceasefire deal collapsed when Israel launched fresh strikes on Gaza. The previous ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, which started on 19th of January, was set up to have 3 stages, but it did not make it past the first stage itself. A dangerous and unrelenting heat wave is sweeping across Europe, triggering health warnings, school closures and the shutdown of major landmarks. France, United Kingdom, Germany and several other countries are facing extreme conditions more typical of late summer, which has put everyone at risk. Europe is battling an intense early summer heat wave, with temperatures soaring to dangerous levels across the continent. France has issued its first red alert in 5 years, forcing nearly 2,000 schools to close early. Public events were restricted due to extreme heat. Cooling centers were opened in Paris and Bordeaux as temperatures reached 40 degrees Celsius. Iconic sites like the Eiffel Tower and Brussels Atomium were closed. The World Meteorological Organization has warned that everybody is at risk in this early season heat wave.
What is exceptional, and I would stress exceptional but not unprecedented, is the time of year. You know, we are 1st of July and we are seeing episodes of extreme heat which normally we would see later on. Why is it happening? Various reasons. One of them is that sea surface temperatures in the Mediterranean are exceptionally high for this time of year. It's the equivalent of a land heat wave.
In the United Kingdom, rising heat has dried up reservoirs and pushed people to rivers and lakes, with temperatures surpassing 30 degrees Celsius. Elsewhere in Europe, countries are struggling to adapt. Health advisories have also been issued in Spain, Portugal, Italy and the Netherlands. In Turin, Italy, children cooled off in public fountains as temperatures climbed to 40 degrees. While in Germany, construction workers and street vendors faced similar challenges in 37 degrees heat. The United Nations has described these conditions as exceptional, more typical of late summer. Scientists continue to warn that climate change, driven by fossil fuel emissions, is intensifying these patterns. With conditions expected to persist through the week, calls for urgent climate action are growing louder across the continent. Gitanshu Kashyap's report for TD India. A widespread spell of heavy to very heavy rainfall is set to sweep across large swathes of India over the next 6 to 7 days, with weathermen flagging heightened flood risk in central and northern India. The Himalayan province of Himachal Pradesh is witnessing intense monsoon activity for the past 3 days, leading to multiple incidents of cloudbursts, flash floods and landslides, resulting in huge loss of life and property. However, today, the intensity of monsoon is subdued and there are no reports of any fresh rains from any part of the state. But for the worst hit district of Mandi, news is less comforting, as even today the Met Department has issued warning of orange alert indicating heavy rainfall. Exiled Tibetan leader Dalai Lama has announced his succession plan, in which he said that the 600-year-old institution will continue after his death. He said that the responsibility for identifying the 15th Dalai Lama will rest exclusively with the Garden Fordrank Trust. He is the 14th reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, and his statement was released ahead of his 90th birthday on July 6th. He was speaking during the 15th Tibetan Religious Conference, though the Dalai Lama was not physically present at the conference, but attendees watched him deliver his video statement. This decision will have profound impact on his Buddhist followers. It ended years of waiting by followers of the Tibetan Buddhist spiritual leader for details about his succession. Let's talk of sports now. India head into the second test against England at Edgbaston with history stacked against them. 8 matches, 7 defeats and no wins. But under the young leadership of Shubman Gill, the team is looking to bounce back from a heartbreaking loss at Leeds. TDDS correspondent Narayan Singh brings us the preview of the second test match.
Sometimes in cricket, as in life, even a sky full of centuries can't chase away the storm of missed chances. Team India, under the young leadership of Shubman Gill, now stares at a mountain they have never climbed before. A test win at Edgbaston, a venue that has troubled Indian cricket for decades. India has played 8 test matches here at Edgbaston. 7 times they have walked away and defeated. Just once, way back in 1986, they managed a draw against the England side. A win, still a dream, but this team has turned dreams into reality before on multiple occasions. In the first test at Leeds, India made history, not the kind they wanted. 5 centuries, yes, 5, and still they lost. Never before a team after scoring that many hundreds ended up on the losing side. Dropped catches, especially 4 by Yashasvi Jaiswal, allowed this England team to claw their way back in the match. Also, there is a growing support for wrist spinner Kuldeep Yadav to come into the playing 11. But India's assistant coach Ryan Dashkote dropped strong hints that Nitish Kumar Reddy and Washington Sundar have good chance of making the cut in the team. But he added that technically Bumrah is available and the management haven't made a decision whether he is going to play or not in the second test match. It will be decided in the last minute. Talking about the England side, they are going in with an unchanged squad. That means no Jofra Archer. He remains out due to some family emergency despite returning to squad after 4 long years. Expect the Edgbaston surface to live up to its reputation. Pace and bounce early, especially on day 1 and 2. If the sky remains overcast, the Duke's ball will dance. Seamers will rule the morning spells and top order batters will need nerves of steel to handle those sessions. Yes, the task is uphill. Yes, the venue has been unkind, but remember, fighting back is in India's DNA. We have seen it in Melbourne, at Lord's, and countless other times when the world counted India out.
All right, with that, we end this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.